Barnet, your surprise leaders over in the Vanarama National League, as they, of course, open up with, of course, 2 wins out of a possible 3. But who's going to catch them this coming weekend as we enter match number 4? We're going to take a look at that. More next. That's right, folks, back to give another prediction video today. We look forward to Vanarama League. That's right, match day number 4, and we'll get to that in just a second. If you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe and bang up to all things National League related, Blackburn Rovers related, World Cup related later this year. Of course, what's going on out in the National League? Of course, Chesterfield are up there alongside Barnet, sitting pretty with 7 points out of a possible 9. But what's going to happen this weekend in a very, very busy schedule, of course, across the English football game? We'll take a look at all of it in a minute. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. But anyway, let's take a look at how we all got on last time around, of course, which was the midweek games. Of course, here we go. Jump in the deep end. Non-stop stuff coming at you over in the Vanarama National League, starting with these games. A recap of the results that did take place this past Tuesday. But what's going to happen moving forward? We'll look at that in a minute. But let's take a look at my predictions and start, shall we? Kicking it all off right here with this one. Boreham Wood against Aldershot, 2-1 win in the end. It was for Aldershot, surprise, Boreham Wood taking the L on this one. Meanwhile, of course, Bromley with a 1-win over Torquay. I went with the draw myself. Eastleigh and Dagenham were duked out to a 1-1 draw. I went with the 2-1 win for Dagenham. Wrexham, surprise, lost to Chesterfield. They might not be the real deal this year, but of course it is early days. But Wrexham currently find themselves way down. They're actually in a bit of trouble, aren't they? They're down to 16th at the moment. 2-0 in the end for Chesterfield, who do look the real deal. Gateshead, I did get a draw against Notts County. I won the 1-0 win myself. Woking, big 2-0 win over Scunthorpe. 2-0. It was 2-1 for me. Halifax drew with Southend. I won the 2-0 win for the hosts. Maidenhead with a big 2-0 win over Altrincham. I won the draw. Maidstone, with, of course, lost to Dorking Rovers. 4-2 for them on the road. 0-0 in my eyes. Oldham lost to Wealdstone. 2-1 there. 2-0 win for me the other way. That's pretty much everything I went for. It went the other way. I had a nightmare. Yeovil lost to Barnet as well. And I went the other way. Solihull Moors could only draw with York. If we wanted to add up my picks on that one, I'd take a long, hard look at myself. I got 1 in there. And that's pretty much it. I got 1. Big, fat, hairy 1. But this is what the table looks right here, right now, as we enter match number 4. Barnet sit pretty at the top of the table, and they will be promoted right here, right now. Chesterfield, of course, competing, Woking up there as well. Haven will be proud. Halifax, Yeovil, Altrincham, and Dagenham going down as it stands. Let's take a look at you guys then. I got 1, remember. A couple of you guys got 0. So that's pretty terrible. But the top dog here, DJC, 86 with 5. So well done to you for not listening to me and going it solo. And, of course, big shout out to the Chasing Pack as well. What about the overall grand scheme of things? This is, of course, from the season get-go. Jimmy Watt and Shane O'Donnell and a Sheriff Tiraspol fan is up there with 14 points. And that is what the table looks right here, right now. It is very, very tight. Again, it's early days here. Again, if you just joined now, you're thinking, do I want to keep going? Of course you want to keep going. There's loads of points on the offering. We're talking over 200, I think, to win this thing. Maybe, depending on how well you do. But there's a lot of points on offer. And people do have bad weeks. They even sometimes take a couple of weeks off. So don't fret just yet. Of course, that's the state of play there. This is, of course, how you get involved. Cut your Fortress non-league. Free to add to get your name in lights. And, of course, we will be seeing you next weekend then, Share. But we're going to take a look at this weekend's action, of course, which include these games right here. Games are coming thick and fast. I don't know when the next one is. Is it a single match week next week? I think so. I think the cup is in action. Hopefully, it's a single match week. It is. So a little bit of ease for me because it has been a little bit crazy as we had pretty much all the leagues in England, bar the Premier League, double match week. But anyway, we're going to look at these ones then. This Aldershot, it is Bromley. It is on the Saturday, August the 20th. Let's get in the deep end now, shall we? On this, they played the 15 times since 2015. 4 wins for Aldershot, 6 wins for Bromley, and 5 draws. Aldershot, though, just 1 win and 6 of them, 33% form up against the Bromley side. Just 1 defeat the past 6% form for them moving forward. Big swing for Bromley over Aldershot, 2-0 win. The biggest win their way, a 4-0 win. Actually, Bromley scored 25 goals compared to Aldershot's 25 over the course of 26 over the course of the 15 games. Works out about 1.73 goals a match, 1.67 goals a game for Bromley. Last time around, though, over in Aldershot, it was a 2-0 win for Bromley. That was back in January 2022 in the FA Trophy. Last time in the league was also a 3-2 win for Bromley as well. So, in fact, Bromley are unbeaten against Aldershot over the last 6, picking up 5 wins on out of the past 6, of course. Moving forward, Bromley did come into this on the back of a 2-1 loss. Sorry, I want to win over Torquay. Aldershot with a big 2-1 win over Boreham Wood. The odds here, 21-10 is your Aldershot, 5-2 is your draw, 65 is your Bromley here. I'm going with a 1-1 draw. I'm not too sure about this league at the moment. Altrincham up against Yeovil. Let's take a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, now these two sides played the 4 times to 23-1. 1 win for Altrincham, 2 wins for Yeovil, 1 draw, of course. Altrincham, though, without a win in the last 6 games. Up against the Yeovil side, also without a win in the last 5. 32% form for them. The biggest win for Yeovil over Altrincham, 2-0 win. The biggest win in the way, a 4-3 win. Altrincham scored 5 goals compared to Yeovil's 7. Works out at 1.25 goals game compared to 1.75 goals scored by Yeovil. Last time around over in Altrincham, it was a 1-0 win for Yeovil back in May 2022. Yeovil coming onto this on the back of a 2-1 loss to Barnet. Altrincham with a 2-0 loss against Maidenhead, and yet to back-to-back games without a goal for them. Looking at the odds here, 5-4 is Altrincham, 5-2 is draw, 2-1 is your away win. That's Yeovil, 1-0 win for Yeovil Town on this for me. Dagenham and Redbridge against Maidenhead now this time. Of course, coming out just same day. 10 times they played each other since 2017. 2 wins for Maidenhead, 5 wins for Dagenham. We've got 3 draws, of course. Dagenham, though, albeit without a win in the last 5, 50% form for the last 6, drawing 4 of the last 5 games. Against Maidenhead, of course, 50% form for their 1-3 loss 3 over the last 6. The biggest win for Maidenhead over Dagenham, 2-1 win. The biggest win in the way, a 3-0 win. Maidenhead scored 10 goals compared to Dagenham's 17. Works out around 1 goal a game compared to the 1.7 scored by Dagenham, of course. Last time around, though, over in Dagenham, it was a 3-0 win for Dagenham back in March 2022. And, of course, the hosts coming into this on the back of a 1-1 draw against Eastleigh. Maidenhead with a big 2-0 win over Altrincham as they come into this on back-to-back wins. Looking at the odds here, we have 11-8 on is your Dagenham, 11-4 is your draw, 7-2 is your Maidenhead on this. 2-1 win for me for Dagenham to take it to the house. Dorking up against Gateshead, of course, these two new sides. Got promoted last season, never played each other according to my eyes. Dorking, though, coming into this 58% form, just 1 win in the last 4 up against the Gateshead side, unbeaten in the last 6 games, 67% form for them moving forward. They have drawn 3 on the spin, though, and those 3 draws are in succession here in the Vanarama National League. Dorking coming into this on the back of the 4-2 win over Maidstone. The odds, though, for this one, we have 11-8, we have 31-20 is your Dorking, 13-5 is your 8-5 is your away win here. Going to go with a 1-0 win for Dorking here. Surprise, surprise, Gateshead takes their first L of the season. Barnet, their leaders, coming out actually against Woking, who are flying high themselves. It actually could be first up against second here. It's first up against third. Played each other 15 times, to done 13-3 for Barnet, 4 for Woking, and 8 draws, of course. Barnet, though, unbeaten last 3 games, 42% form up against the Woking side. Just 1 defeat the past 6, 75% form for them moving forward. Big Smith for Woking over Barnet, 4-1 win. The Big Smith in the way, a 3-1 win. Barnet scored 17 goals compared to Woking's 22. Barnet actually got 1.13 goals in the match compared to the 1.47 for Woking on this. Last time I played over in Barnet, it was a 2-0 win for Woking back in March 2022. Woking, of course, back-to-back 2-0 wins for them, but both of those 2 games were at home. Barnet with a big 2-1 over Yeovil last time around. The odds on this one then, 8-5 is your host, 5-2 is draw, 31-20 is your Woking here. Back in, of course, a 2-1 for Barnet, and, of course, moving the chains at the top of the table. Meanwhile, moving forward, Scunthorpe up against Solihull Moors. That's right, coming at you as well. Saturday, played each other just the 1 time in 2020. It was 1 win for Solihull, nothing for Scunthorpe, and 0 draws. Scunthorpe, though, 1-3 lost 3 over the last 6, 50% form up against Solihull Moors side, unbeaten the last 4, however, drawing 3 out of the last 4 matches. Of course, 42% form for them moving forward. Biggest win for them over Scunthorpe. The only win, 3-2 win it was, and that was in the FA Cup last season, or a couple of seasons back in November 2020. Solihull Moors, of course, back-to-back 1-1 draws for them. Scunthorpe back-to-back defeats for them, losing to Woking last time around. The odds on this one then show you Scunthorpe 5-2 for the victory, 2019 on is your Solihull Moors, and 11-4 is your draw. Back in a draw here, don't know which way to go. Scunthorpe should be considered favourites. Solihull Moors, of course, ever so close last season, so I'm not too sure. 2-2 in the end for me on this one. Southend up against Oldham, of course, at Roots Hall. That's right, played each other according to my eyes. 24 times in 1984, 10 wins to Southend, 6 wins to Oldham, 8 draws, of course. Southend, without a win in 3. In fact, they haven't won the last 9. 25% form over the last 6. Meanwhile, Oldham just 1 defeat past 4 for them, 42% form for them moving forward. The biggest win for Oldham over Southend, 2-1 win. The biggest win in the way, a 3-0 win. Oldham scored just 17 goals compared to Southend's 30 over the course of the 24 matches. Works on about 0.71 goals a game for Oldham and 1.25 goals a game for Southend. Last time played over at Roots Hall, it was a 2-1 win for Oldham back in October 2020. Southend, of course, back-to-back draws for them. Oldham with a big 2-1 loss to Wealdstone. Of course, heading into the 7-5 is your Southend, 17-10 is your Oldham, and 13-5 is your draw. Back in, of course, a 2-1 for Southend at home against an Oldham side again, who should be looking for promotion this time around. Torquay up against Boreham Wood. Now, these two sides have played the 15 times since 2002. 5 wins to Torquay, 7 wins to Boreham Wood, and 3 draws. Just 1 defeat of the past 6 games for Torquay right now. 67% form up against Boreham Wood side. Just 1 defeat the past 5 for them. 42% form for them. them moving forward. Biggest win for Bournemouth over Torquay, 2-0 win. The biggest win away, a 5-0 win. They both scored 20 goals over each other over the course of those 15 games. Works out around about 1.33 goals a match. Let's take a look at, of course, the recent encounter then over in Torquay. It was a 0-0 draw back in the 22nd of the 2nd, 22. Bournemouth unbeaten against Torquay over the last 3 occasions and haven't conceded a goal against them. They've only just won once with a couple of 0-0 draws alongside. In fact, Bournemouth just won winning 6 against Torquay, and a lot of draws knocking around between the two sides. Bournemouth did lose to Aldershot last time round. Torquay with a big one and lost to Bromley. The odds on this, though, Torquay 5-4 with the victory, 90-10 is your Bournemouth, and 5-2 is your draw. I'm giving Torquay the 1-0 win on this one, clean sheet to boot, and moving the chains as well. Wealdstone up against Halifax Town, that's right. Of course, it's the Carina Copeland Derby, that's right. Played each other 4 times in 2021, win for Wealdstone, 3 for Halifax Town, and 0 draws. Just one defeat the past 4 for Wealdstone, 58% form up against Halifax Town, who haven't picked up a win in the last 7 games, 8% form for them moving forward. The biggest win for Halifax Town over Wealdstone, a 2-0 win. The biggest win in the way, a 1-0 win. Wealdstone scored 2 goals compared to Halifax Town's 5 over the course of the 4 matches. Works out around about 0.5 goals a game compared to the 1.25 scored by Halifax Town. Last time around over in Wealdstone, it was a 1-0 win for Halifax back in December 2021. Spin back-to-back clean sheets as well for Halifax Town over Wealdstone. 3 wins on the spin as well. They do come into this on the back of a couple of goalless affairs for them, losing to Torquay 1-0, drawing to Southend 0-0. In fact, they haven't scored a goal this season. In fact, 3 games on the spin without a goal. Wealdstone, though, coming to this on the back of that 2-1 win over Oldham. That was past midweek. The odds here, 12-5 is your Wealdstone, 13-5 is your draw, 21-20 is your Halifax Town. They should win this one. They should, but will they? I don't know. Wrexham, well, up against Maidstone United, coming at you over in Wales. That's right. Now, these two sides have played each other, according to my eyes, 7 times, 2014, 2 for Maidstone, 3 for Wrexham, 2 draws, of course. Wrexham, 42% form for them right now, just 1 win and 4. Up against the Maidstone side, just 1 defeat in the past, 4 for them, 58% form for them moving forward. The biggest win over each other, 3-1 win. In fact, Maidstone scored 9 goals compared to Wrexham's 10 over the course of those 7 matches. Works on around 1.29 goals a game for Maidstone, 1.43 goals a game for Wrexham. Last time around over in Wrexham, it was a 1-0 win. In fact, it's been back-to-back 1-0 wins for Wrexham over Maidstone over in Wales. Wrexham with a big 2-0 loss against Chester, a big result that was. Meanwhile, Maidstone with a big 4-2 loss to Dorking or Wanderers on that badger. The odds here, 7-2 on is your Wrexham, 92 draw, 10-1 is your Maidstone United. 2-0 win for me for Wrexham, back to winning ways, and maybe start to climb the table. York up against Eastleigh, of course, as well. Played each other 2 times, 2016, 1 win for York, nothing for Eastleigh, 1 draw. Just 1 win and 6 over York right now, 25% form up against the Eastleigh side, who've won 2, lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6. That's 50% form for them moving forward. Last time played each other over in York, it was a 3-1 win for York back in March 2017 in the National League. Eastleigh, though, coming into this on the back of that 1-1 draw against Dagenham. It's actually been back-to-back games without a loss. York, though, coming into this on the back of that 1-1 draw against Solihull Moors on the bloody road. The odds here, 11-10 on is York, 5-2 is draw, 3-1 is your way win. That is Eastleigh here. Back in, of course, a 2-1 win for York to get the 3 points and move the chains. And then wrapping a bit of a zinger at the end here. Notts County up against Chesterfield. Of course, played each other according to my eyes 24 times, 2003. 9 wins for Chesterfield, 10 wins for Notts County, 5 draws, of course. Just 1 defeat the past 6 games for Notts County right now. Up against the Chesterfield side, also 1 defeat past 6, 75% form for them moving forward. Scores. Chesterfield scored 28 goals over the course of 24 matches, 29 goals scored by Notts County in the same games. Works out on about 1.17 goals a game for Chesterfield and 1.21 goals a game for Notts County. The biggest win for Chesterfield over Notts County, 3-1 win. The biggest win in the way, a 3-0 win. And of course, last time I played each other in Notts County, it was a 1-1 draw back in March 2022. Chesterfield pick up a 2-0 win over Wrexham. Back-to-back clean sheets for them. Back-to-back draws though for Notts County, drawing with Bournemouth and Gateshead on the bloody road. The odds here though, 5-4 is your Notts County, 2-1 is your way win, and 5-2 is the draw here. 3-1 win in the end for Notts County to get the 3 points and move the chains. And if I'm right, which I bloody well hope so, this is what the table will look like with Barnet sitting pretty outright, of course, a couple of points clear of Notts County in second. There's Dorking, then of course the chasing pack going down right now. Aldrincham, Gateshead, Aldershot and Maidstone United. That's of course my pickaroonies. Is there a draw in sight? I didn't pick any draw. There's a draw in there. Of course, make sure you get your picks in as well using the link, Cut Your Forecast Non-League. It is free. Get your name in lights, of course, and we'll see you back around for the next time of matches, of course. But until then, give us some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and all that kind of jazz in the old description, as well as the Discord. It's wide open. And of course, if you want to support the channel in another way, you could become a patron. Make sure you check all that out as well. But until then, guys and girls, it's non-stop shop here over at Blackburn Overseas. Until then, we're done.